going to start with Justin Gangaware. You go ahead and we'll start with introductions, and Robert's up there is appropriate.
Okay.
So.
Can I hold this?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you get some hold the mics. That's totally fine.
All right, I would never thought I'd been on the stage at the Ruffin, but here I am. My name is Justin Gangaware. I'm currently serving as County Commissioner for District 2, and a little bit about me. I grew up here in Covington, raised here, went to school, graduated, went to UT Martin, and I got a wife, 2 kids. Both of my girls attend, we got one starting Crestview Middle and one starting Covington High, so we deeply rooted in District 2, and I work in agriculture. That's been a passion of mine, so I work here at Greenpoint Ag, here in Covington. Thank you, Echo and Robert, for putting this on tonight, and thank you for all attending.
All right, James.
James Hardin. Can you hear me? Everybody hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm James Hardin. I was born on the Navy base in Millington, and we grew up here. We ended up leaving. Dad was in the Navy, and we came back in '91. Been here since then. Grew up in District 2, across the street from the old electric company, and now I live out on 179. Married to Hannah. Got a baby Arthur back there, and I've got 2 other kids, 13 and 11. I've owned and operated 2 different businesses here in Tipton County. The first was a lighting company called Light Improvement Technologies. Most recently, people may know me from The Cellar, formerly of The Cellar. We just sold the place a little over a week ago, and we're looking forward to our next venture. But I'm happy to be here. Glad for the opportunity. Thank everybody for coming.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. I want to repeat what everybody else has already said. Thank y'all for hosting this. I think it's very important. The more people we have involved in the community and elections, the better off we all are. And I certainly appreciate y'all's time. And certainly those that are here in attendance, I've said many times in our commission meetings, I wish more people would attend and become involved, and they'd have a better idea of some of the things that are going on in the county. I am Michael Naifeh. I am one of the current commissioners in District 2. Lived here all my life, born and raised in Mason. Married my wife, have been married 33 years on the 10th of this month, so it's coming up shortly. We lived in District 2 for about 30 years. We got 2 daughters that we're very proud of. Both of them graduated Covington High School. Both have been very successful post-high school and doing very well. One of them has a CRNA, the other was a nurse at St. Jude, so we're certainly proud of their service. And I have a granddaughter that I'm kind of wild about, but it's good. I worked in 1991. I was on the first reserve Sheriff's Department class that Buddy Lewis had. Me and Sheriff Beasley came through the first class together, worked with Poncho for a number of years. And then I went into fire service full time. I kept my post commission and worked at the Duncan PD for about 12 years or so as a part-time police officer, paid officer. I've got 40 years. This December will be 40 years in the fire service. I started the volunteer fire department in Mason when I was 16, so I will be 56 in December. Been around the fire service a long time. Certainly, very proud and honored to serve as a commissioner of District 2. It's nothing more important to me than being able to represent people of the district. This seat belongs to people of District 2, and I try to do everything I can to make sure that their voices are heard and I represent them and what their wishes are.
Thank you so much. So next up, we're going to start. We've got 3 questions for you, and we'll start. Justin, you'll answer first for question 1, then James will answer question 2 first, and then Mike Naifeh will do question 3. So our first question is, what are the top unaddressed issues in District 2, and what specifically would you do in your term to make progress on those?
Well, this issue it's kind of new. Well, it's not new, but it's kind of on the forefront, and it's not really unique to District 2. But it's so I'm on the Public Works Committee, and one thing that's being discussed now is the declining or stagnant revenue that we get from the state. So we get roughly $65,000 a year annually for bridge repair. Well, it would take 15 years at that rate to repair one bridge. We have, our gas tax is declining, and that's part of that is due to, electric vehicles and other economic, conditions, but our gas tax declining, so our revenue declining, our cost of doing business is going up, fuel cost, just a few notes here, I was talking to Shannon, about 15 years ago, our rock was $16 a ton, it's, $30 a ton, paving, $60 a ton, now $133 a ton, equipment costs, repair costs, labor costs, all that has gone up while our revenue has stayed the same, so, really, to address it, it'll have to start at the state level with our state legislators. Hopefully, this next administration will take notice. Director Reed applied for a $55 million grant to get bridges repaired, so hopefully we get that.
Awesome. Thank you so much, James. And if you guys need me to restate the question, I can.
Like, what's the biggest issue with District 2 right
Yes,
now?
yeah. What's the top unaddressed issues, and what do you want to do to make progress on that? And
Well, I'm not privy to the details of issues like that, except I'm not on the commission yet. But, this the stuff that I've noticed where I live, because I'm out on 179 where the storm came through a couple years ago, is we've still got some stuff that could be done out there for people that need help. There's trees, there's houses with still tarps on them, there's, I think that's an issue that still needs to be addressed in our
Okay.
district.
perfect. Thank you.
So we've addressed one of the biggest issues this last year. We put a full-time fire station in Charleston Community in District 2, so that took care of one that was certainly on my radar from the public safety background. Moving forward, we have got to get our heads wrapped around growth. If growth is gonna come, we need to make sure that we have our ducks in a row. We spent several $100,000 on a plan that most people in the audience might not even be aware of, but we have not done our work, in my opinion, to take that plan and implement it into our planning and zoning. So I think that's not only for District 2, but I think countywide, that's something we're certainly going to have to take a look at as soon as we possibly can.
Awesome. Thank you. Can you guys hear everybody? No. James.
Oh, it
Yeah.
it really wasn't that interesting what I said. You want me to use this one?
No, just hold it closer to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So, what specific role does a county commissioner play in retaining young people who leave Tipton County after college? And what would your first move be? Yeah.
Great, I get this one first. So, yeah, I don't know how many people that aren't in county government that have read the minutes from a county commission meeting. Has anybody done that for fun? So, it's very tedious, it's a lot of minutia, and it's all very important. But you see how, you think that, well, we could just like do some changes and make things happen. Really, I think when you're in the meetings and focusing and voting on things and dealing with budget items for each department, in order to retain young people, you have to keep in mind at all times what young people, young parents are looking for when they decide where to live, and that's safety, and that's affordability, which we do well on, taxes, and conditions of the roads, school systems, and stuff like that. So I think if you keep that in the front of your mind as you're dealing with all of the things on the commission, then ultimately that would help people want to stay here.
Thank you.
So the county has a workforce development coordinator and also has an industrial development board that's very involved in actively recruiting industry as we speak. And that is one of the main things in order to give folks a place to work. Unfortunately, when I grew up in Mason was a farming community. It was a pretty thriving community at one point in time, and then things moved, and all that you see, unfortunately, and I don't want to talk about another community, but you see there's not much over there, and a lot of the people have left. So what we as a county commission have to do is to set our priorities, and I think Chief Doherty talked about it earlier. I think public safety, infrastructure, education, we have great county schools, and we need to continue to build on them. We're very fortunate we have a TCAT in town that's gotten into major development or upgrade, and we also have the Dyersburg State Community. All of that has to go into play as we move forward to try to attract young people to stay here.
Yeah, you know, I think it starts with economic development. You know, these kids that have gone off to college, I mean, they've been going to school their whole lives to prepare for a career. So, you know, having quality jobs to come back to is very important. Having safe neighborhoods, you know, quality schools, which we very much have here in Tipton County. You know, just good roads, good infrastructure, you know, parks and recreation, you know, clean community. We have, you know, Keep Tipton County Beautiful that works on litter, and all this, you know, adds up to a quality of life that, you know, most people would want. So, and I think, you know, Tipton County has done a pretty good job at trying to provide that.
Thank you so much. All right, our next and final question is, what has been your most significant contribution to Tipton County, and what would you prioritize if you're elected?
That's a good question, and one that I feel, as I went back to earlier about my public safety career here, and also my time in commission. This will be I'm running for my third term, and in that term, we've increased the sheriff's department budget by almost $5.5 million. We've increased the fire department budget by about $1.3 million, and we've increased public works budget by a little over $1 million. We opened the fire station in Charleston, where we've got a lot of work to do in public safety to get our fire service and our EMS service up to where it needs to be. But I think that would be my biggest contribution that I would see currently.
Yeah, you know, that's a hard question. You know, I feel like my biggest contribution is just being available to my constituents and trying to meet needs as they arise. You know, I work in conjunction with Commissioner Naifeh, and, you know, and every Chief Piercy, we did get the fire department to Charleston, so now we have fire response and EMS service to an area that was greatly underserved. You know, just the bridge on Burnett Lane, you know, I kind of facilitated the county working with the city there to try to meet a need, you know, and that's kind of what this job is about, is serving your constituents and you know, addressing needs as they arise. So that's kind of what, you know, my contribution has been so far.
Well, like I said before, I've owned and operated a couple of businesses here in Tipton County, completely unrelated types of businesses, but still was able to learn them and grow them to where they individually would gross over $1 million a year. So I'd like to think we contributed a lot to the community with that, but more importantly, especially with the restaurant and getting involved in local boards and local government and stuff like that, is being able to do fundraisers for Carl Perkins, helping out Boys and Girls Club, Make-A-Wish, Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts. So we tried to use the business to integrate it into the community so that people want to frequent the business, but also, you know, to be able to give back. And so I was very proud to be able to do that.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.